your cutting-edge television station, interfacing Africa and the rest of the world with excellent documentaries, business news, investment opportunities, lifestyle, and much more. We're currently on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also view while on the move at www.firstviewtv.tv. First View TV, changing the narrative.
Welcome to the Nigerian-British community in focus. It is of note to state that over the past 70 years, significant numbers of Nigerians have come into the United Kingdom as students, have moved on to Nigeria to do a lot of incredible things. Some went on to work within the civil service, whilst others worked in the private sector, benefiting from the British education. And of course, some remained in the United Kingdom. But today, we will be focusing on a gentleman who came in about 63 years ago as a young student who went on to study law at the University of Cambridge. Today, he's about 87. He spent some time in the UK and went back to Nigeria. And whilst he was in Nigeria, he worked initially with the government and went on to establish a very successful business venture. Not just ventures. But it is my great delight to have with us today Prince Olajide Anifalaje. Pa, I would say, is at the age of 80 plus. I wouldn't address you in as much as, yes, you are royal, but I'll prefer to call you Pa. Pa Anifalaje. Can you just give us a little bit background information on yourself?
Thank you very much, Omoba Afolabi Andu, as I fondly call you. I came to England in the year 1958 to study law, like my other friends and colleagues, because the idea then was that if you didn't go to England, you cannot shine or make it in life. And I was lucky because before I left home, I had passed the then higher school certificate examination, which exempted me, which gave me a direct entry to the University of Cambridge, which exempted me from doing the Cambridge overseas the General Certificate of Education advanced level. So when I came, some of my other colleagues, a man like Kabiyesi Oba Sikiru Adetona, we arrived the same year. We were friends. I used to go to his house in Portland Road. He used to come to my house. But let's therefore, let's lawyer deal with me. A lot of water has passed under the stream. That I'm still alive, I am grateful to God. Because many of them have gone to the greater beyond, and they all did well.
Taking you back to those days, and that is the whole essence of this documentary. Yeah. And we would really be digging in a little bit more just to have broader picture of the various experiences you had during those times. But what I'd like you to share with us was what the life was like in the 50s. First of all, I'd like to know, and I believe our viewers would like to know, who the Prime Minister was when you came into the Prime Minister.
Okay,
when you came into the United Kingdom.
It was Harold. It was Prime Minister Harold Macmillan, just taking over from Sir Spencer Winston Churchill. Harold Macmillan took over from him in Britain. Britain then was really Britain. It is still Britain, Great Britain. Everything was good. £1 in your pocket would carry you for 1 or 2 weeks if you are not a spendthrift. And with a sum of £25, you would live like a king if your parents can afford to send it to you monthly. £25. You pay your bills, you travel on the bus, on the underground, which was The travel then was 3 pence per ride, ticket. So it was good. Then we used to cook our own meals. Housing, first of all, we were in digs before we moved to hostel. Digs, £1, 5 shillings a week. And those of us who wanted to save some money would go and work, like I did. My first place of work, this is part of my experience, was in Trafalgar Square, in a place called J. Lyons and Co. Limited. They are restaurant owners. You work there, you eat and eat and eat. That was there I learned how to make the salad and various dishes. And I used to save every penny that I earned because the food there was sufficient for me. I was single in 1958. I hadn't gotten married. So, there was plenty of food. And when we meet, then we had only black and white television. When we meet to discuss academics, we meet to discuss books, no social life, no going to, even no social life.
But I'm going to come on to that in a minute, how affordable a lot of the items were and also the food. Being an African during that period, of course, because you were used to the staple African meals. How did you cope?
We cope very well by buying those things and putting them together and eating them as they were, hot, as young men. It was here that we learned how to cook soup.
You mean the Africans?
Africans.
But where did you buy the items from?
We used to buy them in various stores. There was a big store in Warren Street. There was another one in Ridley Road in Hackney. There you buy half a head of pork for 9 pence. In the beginning they used to give them out. But when they knew that they thought we were giving them to dogs, to our dogs. When they now realized that we were eating them, they started to charge us 3 pence, 6 pence, and then up to 9 pence. Then there was a staple food we had, they call it semolina, coarse and fine. And that coarse semolina, as we turn gari or pando, and then we eat it with egusi soup, or vegetable soup, or okra soup. Our stew, there was no blender there. We just chopped the tomato, put the pepper, chop the pepper, chop the onion, put everything on, put everything out together and we sent it to
a good combination.
Yeah, it took boil. Food is ready.
So all in all, life was quite pleasant.
Quite pleasant.
That essence, the essence of academia, the rigors of, just focusing on the academia. Could you shed some light with the viewers on what the regime, the academic regime used to be in those days?
For most of us, because we've been prepared, we've had the foundation ready laid in the writing of the English language, the command of the English language, the expression, and if it's into sciences, the mathematics was sound, so it was no problem.
So it wasn't a challenge to...
No challenge. Even I remember David Coppel, who later became a solicitor. I was a barrister. We were classmates. He asked me one day, when we were testing, he said, "Lawrence, where did you learn this language that you write effortlessly? That's what this is. And your handwriting is so beautiful, I write cursive." I said, "We were taught back home in the grammar school." I said, "Those who taught us were men from Oxford and Cambridge and Furabe College." I said, they imparted into us that knowledge and expertise. That's all.
What did you used to get up to those days, students, aside from your academia?
Yeah, occasionally there are ballroom dancing when a man like people, artists from home come. And that was a gentleman who passed on recently. He was the artist in Nigeria, based somewhere in Soko. His name is Ambrose Campbell. Occasionally, if you can afford it, because not too more 5 shillings to enter, you go into his ballroom, into his, to enjoy yourself for a weekend. And then there are other English ballroom dances like in Hammersmith Valley. His own place is usually well packed full of African, because you sing music that will make you to remember who. He was the one who sang Eroya Kewa 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 Wire Aladuye Eroya Kewa Baba Nkibe Malo Awa Marishe Ukawa Malo. He said, parents were saying, don't go. He said, no, I must go, because my colleagues are going. And then many other melodies there. He passed on recently some of his recordings. And later on, people like Ike Dairo and Benila started to follow. By that time, we were getting ready to go home.
How long were you in England?
5 years and 4 months.
And you did not travel out of the country at all?
I didn't travel out because there was no cause. We were focused. And it was I won't say about this. I can't find the word. To go back home without achieving your objective, it's like, it's a shame. You have come to become a lawyer. In those days, if you are leaving home, you either come to study law, medicine, or engineering. And all of that is kind of studies that people look down. For instance, in those days, I remember a friend of mine, some of my friends, a couple of them came, they were studying architecture. They put their ruler under their arm, going in the cold, and a friend of mine, of blessed memory now, who said, look at your friend, what are these ones doing? Whereas they were in for the fortune of tomorrow. Because when we got home, a couple of years after, there was a boom in construction, and they were in the limelight, earning a percentage of whatever job they did. Okay, whereas as lawyers, we had to struggle with our briefs, getting briefs, which I did for a while before getting a job as a solicitor to a big corporation, which brought comfort to my life. And I served the corporation for about 10 years before retiring into a private practice, legal practice and business.
How many other colleagues of yours were studying law at the same time in the university in Nigeria?
Jide's daddy, there's a little idea with me. There was some other child from Kenya, Commonwealth countries, who were with us, because we was an exclusive Nigerian classmate. There was an Aregbesola. I'm trying to find out whether he's the father of this Governor Aregbesola. I'm trying to, or an uncle, I'm here to find out. A very brilliant chap. He used to sit in front of me in class. And
in Cambridge University?
That's Cambridge, yeah. Cambridge.
The day your results came out, can you share that experience with us?
Good. God bless you for that question. The day experience, there are 2 results. The graduation results and the call to the bar results. There are 2 different studies. They run parallel. But one is professional, the other is academic. There used to be an Indian boy in the library. After I've studied back home, our experience is you don't sit down for too long. Take fresh air. Our teachers in those days, like a man like M.B. Ranson and Oxford guy said, you don't assimilate after 2 hours. leave it, go and stretch your legs. When I did that, I was in that. You could come to me and say, Lawrence, you're not studying hard. Sometimes to strike my heart, and I remember I got some stuff. Now when the final results came, I passed, I didn't pass. So I gave thanks to God. I didn't mock him. I passed. It is not what you put into it. The grace of God and the grace of God generally, and not so much of flogging of time of the book.
On the graduation day.
It was a great day. On that graduation day, there was a young man from Jamaica. His name is Isaacs, from Jamaica. He said, Lawrence, you know, you are not an ordinary man again. I said, why? He said, no, you are not a barrister. All the boys came round me in the hall, and then I shared some drinks. We bought, there was no alcohol then. I bought drinks for them. I can't remember the some drinks and sandwiches, and then we all enjoyed ourselves, saying what we were going to do when we get back home. And then I went out to Chilo.
We know that your dad was a king.
Yeah, about Ibokun.
Now, of course, hearing the news that his son had just graduated, what was the experience like?
He was, that on the day the news came to him, he used, in the colloquial language, said, catching Ochime Falalu. I said they bought 6 cartons of beer to give to people who came, not to talk of several kegs of palm wine.
And celebrating.
Yeah, in the palace. Those who came to rejoice with him, his ships. He has about 8 ships who came to rejoice with him. And some of my uncles who had become lawyers before me, when they had the news, they went to greet him. All of them gave him money to send to me. And then almost for 2 weeks, when I open my door, when I wake up, money comes under my door. Money. It was easy to send money from Nigeria then. Barclays Bank, GCO, Dominion, Colonial and Overseas, Bank of British West Africa, sending me £100 this, so I had money to spend. So I was able to buy 2 beautiful suits, 2 nice portmanteaus, and I booked a first-class return ticket on the Envy Oriole home. I bought my wig and gown, £150, and a bowler hat. I had a hat before I went for a bowler hat. And that's what's it.
And of course, over the years, you attained great heights in your various areas of endeavor, both in the profession as a lawyer and also within the business arena. And I know that you are here in the United Kingdom. You've been back for a few years. What are your prospects? What are your plans? What are your intention in terms of you staying on in the UK, or do you intend to return back to Nigeria at a point in time?
All of our children, my wife came first to join our second son who got married here. That boy was born when we were in Cambridge. Just not on my first round, first trip. My history is a checkered one. Whilst I was working for the government, I also had the luck again of being sent to the University of Cambridge for postgraduate by the Nigerian government and the British government. They were looking for 2 people to come and do their postgraduate at their expense. They were paying my salary and paying my expenditure here. at Cambridge was that time that we had Wally at Cambridge, 1969. 69, 53-year-old boy now, 52. Now, what was the question again?
No, just prospects of, are you thinking of going back?
Yeah. I came because my wife came while he was getting married about 23 years ago. And then Nigeria was becoming not as buoyant as it was. Then I came to join them, and they always told me that I said I was going back home. I was going back home. Back home I had a driver and a gardener and a housekeeper. I said, well, why couldn't we do? Ultimately I went home. Then back home I got sick. And then I came back again. Then they said the first boy, he was in America. Then he said, Dad, don't go back home again, except it is necessary. If you go, and you are sick, don't call us. Likewise. He said, why can't you find something to do? Then it occurred to me that I am a barrister. I was called to the bar in England. Then there was a chap who was Wally's classmate at the University of Ife. They had a law firm. I spoke to him. He said, Daddy, okay, come into a law firm. I used to go there about 2 or 3 times a week, just to while away the time, you know. And then again, I found out I had free medical services. I had many other benefits that accrued to me because I had been a British citizen. By the way, when we came, those of my age group, to England, we came as British citizens, British protected citizens, with British passport. So we had many benefits. So you get a house allocated to you, you get so many benefits. So I sat down with my wife. 2 of the children went to America, a boy and a girl is set up there, their family. 3 are here. One is in Wolverhampton, the first boy, is doing well by the grace of God. All of them are doing well, I thank God. Wally too studied law because I studied law. She's not practicing it. The girl too studied law because I studied law. And the last of the Romans, is a doctor, is at Cambridge. Each of them are settled with their own families. 4 boys, 1 girl. That is why it's decided. And then for every day, I had cause to remain because I can always go home, which I have been doing for about 15 years now. Go home for occasional things like my church ceremony. It's a year event of the church. So that does not make me feel like going home. Like going back home to settle. And I have children, my wife is here, and I have children.
The family is here.
Yeah, that's why. Tied me down.
Wonderful. It's really been quite illuminating and insightful what you've shared with us on this wonderful session. And what I can only say is that we wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
Most grateful. Well, you've had it all. We've just had an amazing session with Pa Prince Olajide, Anifalaje. Stay tuned with us as we carry on this program. Nigerian British Community in Focus. Thank you very much.
Let us usher you into the world of CBAR Technologies. At CBAR Technologies, we cater for all your salient digital and technological needs such as web and app development, domains and hosting, web security services, broadcast streaming, and a host of other exciting technological features. For further information, why not visit us at www.cbartechnologies.com. CBAR Technologies, redefining the art of digital technology.